Hello, everyone, and welcome to my 10th episode of my podcast, Book and Story World with author Priya Grewal. So I hope everyone's had a good couple of weeks and everyone's enjoying the summer so far. For my 10th episode, I have decided to read poems from my first ever poetry book called Poetry from Other Lands, with the subtitle on the cover, To Take Your Mind to Other Places, by myself, Priya Grewal. It is available on Amazon in paperback or on Kindle. So I wrote this a couple years ago now, and fortunately Amazon KDP gives authors the opportunity to self-publish with themselves. So fortunately I did get to self-publish my first ever poetry book, Poetry from Other Lands, with Amazon Kindle Direct Publisher. So let's dig in to my book of poetry. The first episode is called Angelwood. The sky was made out of crystals, the ocean made out of emerald pistols, the gardens a paradise, the trees an exotic mirage, the forests filled with the scent of heaven, the night sky a beautiful painting, the ground made of colourful clouds, the balconies of great palaces, glistening in the distance, must have been made by a miraculous hand. A great king on the white throne of his grand royal universe, bestowing beauty on all created to live there. A home of glories, marriage and children, the sweet sound of baby laughter. A universe vaster than the eye can see, perfect and glistening, a shower of rubies and stars, beautiful beyond imagination, until the eye of envy was loosened from its cage. Poem 2, A New Universe. A new universe is opening. Portals are in the sky. Colour is waiting to be released. A royal banquet soon to be prepared. A fashioned hero waiting to be at peace. Watching the trees change season by season, watching the leaves fall and return, whilst the green grass frosts over. A quick glimmer of silver, sparkling in response to a hurried glance. The skies turning rose-orange pink, witnessing moons in the early morning sky, wrapping up warm until the chill bite is over, sitting at the bus stop watching the air, waiting for the new door to the new universe to open. Some call it the real world, others paradise. Poem 3, Hailstones. Hailstones on my head, a king in another land whom many envy, a wife, children, and still some good, unaware of the darkness lurking at the door, friends singing and loving their world, a hooded claw scraping at my back, a third of the world with black decrepit souls, inventing fear at a time when the word fear was unknown, brewing magic and potions to end more than one's existence, creating torture and torment for more than one's soul. He lurked in a hideaway, the devil not named, now transported with the others, awaiting their verdict for the crimes of death, torture and murder. Their own device, execution their only fate. Judgment day cometh, and peace will be restored. All will sing again, children will laugh again, family and friends will seek joy in one another again, and the king and the queen and their children will reign in eternal peace. Next poem, Pastures New. Sitting in the conservatory, black throw over on my chair, a red blanket next to me, watching the sky darken after basking in the beautiful shades of the sunset, appreciating the hand of creation. Make some more skies for me and new stars. Make me a palace to stand at my feet. Make me a moon that showers me with glory. Make me a horizon only from my dreams. I want to feel the touch of magic slip down my shoulders, my arms turning to crystal, the richness of magic surrounding me. I have reached my goal, pastures anew, where I thank the Lord Zeus for letting me enter his wonderful world. Next poem, Bright Lights and Palm Trees. I glance outside of the window. Today the sky is dark, and I sit in the living room with my green blanket. The silver light of the street lamp just miraculously came on, all by itself, and startled me, wondering why it came on. Electricity? Looked more like magic. I glance at my hands where my palm lines form words. One hand says yeah, the other envy. I think back to my bus ride to and from work. Why are there palm trees? They make me dream of a paradise, a dream holiday that never ends, with beautiful sandy beaches and purple oceans. I glance back outside at the silvery light, street virtually silent, and think of the good and the bad in the world. I fall asleep. Next poem is called Zeus. A link to Lord Zeus will open soon. Some may say when you least expect it. Others may say he arrived on time, fresh, new and healed for the roller coaster of life. An eternity of non-stop pleasure for every sense that you have. Sparkling fingers as you learn to fly, cruising in flying cars, melting at the sight of chocolate, devouring the ice cream, falling in love with every book, stories to explode the mind, films to make a standing ovation for, music to be swept away in, the chance to fall in love madly and deeply, pleasures of all kind. Don't forget some justice after swimming in the deep jeweled ocean and sinking your feet in the sand, with a party or two to attend, with wonderful people, with a crown on your head. Was this all made by Zeus? What is this land? Olympus? The kingdom of heaven? Really a land's name? Where is Hades? Broken out of his abyss? I sign up for pleasure only. Friends, family, laughter. Everything created by Zeus. Some call him Father. His mission to end Hades and all who follow him. To restore peace to the land, the realm of Zeus. And he will reward the hero, fashioned into a weapon, a transporter, to transport the evil eye of every enemy into the prison of Zeus, for all to await his sentencing. After their failed coup, none can imprison Zeus for Hades' evil creation of torture, and sentence Zeus's population to the evil invention of death, perverting and twisting Zeus's gift of magic. Their only crime? Loving their maker, the source and hand of all creation, displaying love, not hate. But Hades, the traitor, wanted to replace Zeus the Father as being the hero of evil, the gift of death and eternal torture offered to the jealous, a bribe the one-third took, not realizing he was becoming their celebrated king in all but name, loving every second of being worshipped, his name celebrated by each fallen being, fallen for the serpent's trickster bribe, the failed coup, evil, a new word invented for the failed atrocities, all saved by Zeus's secret shield. The envious submitted to Hades' darkness, fled to his suggested hideaways for all to say yes, an alarm system Zeus had to create a weapon for, so he could turn the gift of death into their curse, their demise. Zeus defeated Hades and the traitorous vile twisted one-third, and waits to reward his daughter, the transporter, when healed from this life, the war against the darkness. Next poem is called Now You Know. Now you know the planet names are real. Earth only means heart. Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn. Planet names by Zeus. Pluto, Mars, and Neptune. Heaven, Tartarus, and Olympus. Apollo, Aphrodite, and Hercules. Names of the born angels. The species name of children of immortals. Zeus and Hera's children called the Nephilim, part angel, part god. Zeus made his wife Hera, the queen of the Nephilim, immortals, and angels, crafted by his loving hand. She rules Zeus's empire with him, everything made by his hand. Their children and grandchildren are princes and princesses. A born hero and rescue is on the way, also fashioned by Zeus. For unfortunately evil was born, in the form of Lucifer, his wife Isis and their children. Hades, Devil, Adam and Eve. The army of evil needed defeating, so a hero was born, another child of Zeus and Hera, a lost princess in another world who knows nothing, crawling and gurgling in a humble land, the leaders of evil of the failed coup, awaiting execution by Zeus. Some traitors and leaders, his treacherous jealous seed, all to be destroyed with their army of failed darkness, to be destroyed by the king Zeus, his daughter the fashioned hero, and her betrothed prince, a name she's yet to learn, and a mother, sister, or two. Next poem is called Alien. One by one, jealousy consumed a third of a nation. Drip, 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 as envy turned into black venom, and Lucifer invented murder, a massacre, and a prison hell dimension for God, to be tortured forever. He approached the one-third with a wife, who he promised would be queen, to share in the glory of God with him as replacements, heroes to the jealous, who his ideas made overzealous, the creator of murder, the inventor of magic to end one's existence, a conjuring that would look like fire to mine or your eye, a conjuring to eradicate existence. Magic, Lucifer saw in a vision, didn't work on God, so he invented eternal torture instead, and called it the realm of hell, an offering to the jealous, in secret, none of them knowing it was a plan to replace God and his wife, in the place of the universe of heaven, God's continued creations, a celebration of Lucifer and his offering of death and torture, to the residents who were jealous of God, the word evil born from vile, the smile on their traitorous faces terrifying, and they did not care who they killed, new words born, children, parents or siblings, husband or wife, if they got to torture God in Lucifer's torture prison, bring God down and end his reign, kill all who loved their maker. So they never heard the Creator celebrated again, and after millenniums of jealousy, got to have the power trip of inflicting eternal pain on their maker. So Lucifer organized the massacre, waiting to be the new god. His weapons, killing magic, invisibility, and transporting magic for God to his prison. When they all threw their life-ending magic, little did they know, a shield of gods would activate and protect himself and all of his universe, experiencing nothing but the shock of the flame, and traitorous faces turned visible. Old magic of gods protecting all, in case an enemy was ever born who wanted to inflict harm and take his land. Magic he made undetected, not seen with others' magic, so God would know if there was an enemy in his realm. So they fled, Lucifer and the one-third, into the proposed hideaways made by Lucifer. For if anything should go wrong, Lucifer escaped God's world, and the one-third, wife in tow, we do not know. And the one-third cursed Lucifer forevermore, not knowing he was using them to replace God. And Lucifer, Satan, devil's name, sat on the mouths of all of God's land as the father of traitors, the father of murder. Families torn in two, coming to terms with their family members or husband or wife trying to end their existence. For everyone else, the shock of strangers or friends. And in God's eyes himself, the most betrayed of all, the creator of all of life. Next poem is called The Coup. Nobody knew anything of Lucifer's coup in the universe of heaven. One by one, as each of the jealous he approached said yes to the massacre and torture of God, smiles would be passed, and sly glances, eyes glinting with malice, as each signed their name on his contract, living in the palaces and lands beyond imagination that God had made them all. God, his wife and the good, with no idea about the army of darkness growing to end all their existence, unaware of the traitor in the bed, at the dinner table, saying I love you at the end of the day, annoying a family member or friend with a slight insult, never imagining what it represented, waiting to end their universe, celebrating Satan and his wife in the shadows of the universe, getting the bows and hails he wanted, smiling with glee, his wife a queen to be, revelling in the vileness of the elated jealous, waiting for the day of killing to approach. A 31st of October like no other, signatures completed on Friday the 13th. Witches and warlocks cackling, finally their reflection more than content in the mirror. No one bigger than themselves anymore, only their own egos to feed. Abandon all good spouses, they are no longer needed. Break all family ties and friends. End any allegiance to the Maker who made them all. Their reflection the only Lord they need. Satan their hero, their new king without the label, the giver of their dreams, everyone else's nightmare. Trying to sound as sweet as they can be, smiling maliciously when they see their maker, probably being overboard in their excitement in the build-up of their wickedness, waiting to torture the king for all of eternity. Lucifer celebrating in secret with his family, an evil daughter and son in celebration, with spouses celebrating with them, the appalling Satan devils, Lucifer smiling in the mirror, waiting for the world that didn't belong to him to be his. Ha ha ha, he cackles. Thank you to my minions, my fools, my worshippers. God's throne is mine. Okay, thank you to anyone who listens to my podcast, Book and Story World with author Priya Grewal. So thank you to anyone who listens to episode 10 for listening to my poetry, which I titled Poetry from Other Lands. So the poetry based on theology, so you may hear some Christian theology references, and Greek god references. So I came up with the poems when my mind just starts to wander and thinks about what's the truth out there, gods and goddesses and Greek gods and one god. So that's where Poetry from Other Lands came from. So as I wrote on the subtitle, to take your mind to other places. So thank you everyone for tuning in to episode 10 of my podcast, Book and Story World with author Priya Grewal. Until next time, which will be next Wednesday again now. Take care everyone. Have a lovely, lovely week.